My name is Gaironeesha Adams. I'm working currently at Oxygen Products, but my journey with Oxygen Products go way back, quite a few years. Got to know about Oxygen Products when the CEO, Venetia Kruger, visited the health shop where I was working at, and she said she's got this product she would like to introduce to us if we are willing to look at it and if we'll be interested in stocking the product. And that time I wasn't the manager yet, and my manager asked me, Gaironeesha, what do you think? Should we give it a chance? And Venetia explained the product to us, and I said, well, we have nothing to lose. If it's going to make a difference helping people, let's try it. And I can remember before that, I was thinking of, isn't there something that can make a difference to people's health and in reversing their condition? And that was just a few weeks. If I remember correctly, it was about 2 weeks before Venetia stepped into the health shop. And because most of our clients, they are old people. So, they will pinch their pension or they will save up the money to come and get their natural products. And, I always say the old people, they are very wise. They are not very educated, but they are very wise. They know how they feel by using natural things. And then few weeks later, Venetia walked into the health shop, introduced herself, introduced the product, and we started to stock the product at the health shop. I remember I gave an order of 5 products and to try it, and that 5 products did not even last a week in the health shop. And I know my first clients that I introduced it to was somebody that had emphysema, and then the other one was a stroke client, but let me get to no, it's the other way around. The other one was a stroke client. He came into the health shop and he asked me, and he said to me, after, after the research of the product and also Venetia's explanation about the product, I then introduced him to the product, and he had a left side stroke. And he came into the shop and he said to me, I've experienced a stroke about a year ago. I'm back at work. I can climb the stairs because we had a small staircase in the health shop, but I can't run up the stairs again. And also then he showed me his arm, his left arm, and he said to me, I can only lift my arm halfway. I can't yet put it right above my head. And I said to him, well, we have this oxygen products. And I gave him his recommended dosage, and I said to him, see how this will work for you. And I explained the product to him, and he said, thank you. He left. That was round about the Thursday or Friday that I recommended the product to him. The Monday, this gentleman, he was back in the shop, and he tells me, I want another oxygen product that you gave me. And I said to him, but giving him the dosage that I gave him, the recommended dosage, I told him, but yours can't be finished. And he said, no, look at here. And he lifted his left arm right above his head, and he said, I can lift up my arm, and also I can almost run up your stairs, and that's within a few days. Needless to say, I was speechless. I'm like, what? He's like, yes. And also, just sadly, when the people recover, they don't come back to you to tell you, the end of the story. But he was very happy. I never saw him again. Maybe he got it somewhere else, maybe some place nearer to him. I don't know. And then the second one, in that same week, the following week, somebody came into the shop, and I can remember it was the fast period, and she said to me, you know what, Auntie, I'm just coming to see if you guys have something that can help my father. He is laying in bed. He can't help himself. We bath him in the room. We're feeding him in the room. He can't even speak 2 words. He's got a little bell that he rings at his bedside for our attention when he needs something. And I said to her, sister, take this oxygen products. I gave her the recommended dosage because the father, she said, was laying in bed with oxygen tanks, and they need to rush him every time to the hospital and so forth. And I said to her also, take the the oxygen, and I gave her the recommended dosage. She left, and by the end of the week this lady returns and she tells me, give me another of your oxygen products. And I'm like, oh my word, we have stepped on something, I think, very good, amazing. And that was my aha moments with oxygen products. And I asked her about her father, and she said to me, auntie, it's like a week later, this man doesn't want to be in bed. He doesn't want us to bath him. He doesn't want us to feed him. He said he don't need us. He can get up and do all these things himself. And I'm like, oh my word. And so my journey has started with oxygen product. Few weeks later, I had another chronic stroke condition of an elderly person that he suffered a severe stroke for 2 years. And he started to become despondent, meaning that his wife came, she made an appointment at the health shop for him to have cupping, which also improves circulation, also helps to remove toxins and those things from the body. And she said to me she was so happy that her husband agreed to come for cupping, at least, to have some treatment done, because he doesn't want to go for his routine checkups. He doesn't want to take his medication. He says it's been 2 years, and this man, he was totally bad. There was no interaction or reaction from his side. When you speak to him, he talks back to you, but other than that, he was just like nothing. And then he came for the cupping, and when the doctor was finished with him with the cupping session, his wife came into the shop and she told me, isn't there something to make him feel better? And I asked her why. She said, no, this is his thing. He had the stroke for 2 years. There is no interaction and reaction. He is incontinent. He doesn't want to take his medication. He doesn't want to go for his routine checkup. And I said to her, well, auntie, you know what? Give them the oxygen products. He should be feeling a difference within days, because that was now my experience, with oxygen products. And she said, okay, I'll see if he take it, because he's become totally despondent. Then I gave her a recommended dosage of three times a day on an empty stomach with lots of water. And by the following week, she came back and she said to me, I can't believe it. This man is taking something and he's actually telling me he's starting to feel better. But she said she couldn't see anything. She couldn't see a difference in his condition, but he's telling her, and she was just too happy he's taking something. And then she told me also that since his stroke, his sugar levels was a persistent 22. And then she said, isn't there something for that as well? I said, let him. I don't believe in bombarding people with products, because then you don't know which actually has done has done the healing. So then he continued starting the second holder of oxygen products. And then she said to me, she can't believe it. He's still telling her, they drove one of the roads in Rylands, and a car came up close by, and he's like, hey, go that way. And she looked at him and she thought, oh my word, normally he would just sit. Even if that car had to knock them, there would have been no response. And then the same week, this is now all starting in the second one of his oxygen, she was tidying their room, her cap fell on the floor. He actually picked it up, put it on the table, and she's like, but you couldn't bend. And he smiled and he said, you know what? I told you I'm feeling a difference. And then towards the end of that month, still on his second one, he actually agreed to go for his routine checkup with his doctor. And she's like, oh my word, something is happening to this man. And she was just too happy, to take him wherever he need to be. And then she came on buying his third one. She said, you know what, I need to share this with you. And I'm obviously, like, everybody else, I will ask her, how is he doing, and all of those things. And the conversation started. And she said he went for his routine checkup to his doctor. And his doctor was in disbelief. He couldn't believe that, after his routine checkup, taking his glucose test, his blood pressure test, did the reflex test and all of those things. His doctor asked her, is he using something, different? And she's asking her doctor why, and the doctor said to her, well, I can see a difference in his reflexes, I can see a difference in his sugar level as well as his blood pressure. And then she told me, her doctor told her, and then she took out the oxygen products and she showed it to the doctor, and the doctor read through it, and he's, oh my word, the stuff is so good. He must stay on it. And 6 months to make a long story, I couldn't believe it. Then also a doctor told her, he's normally when your sugar levels is reversing, or your diabetes is reversing, it will go down. Say for instance, his was a persistent 22, it will reverse to 19, 17, 15, and that way. His was that day, it was a perfect 6. I'm like, you're joking. She's like, not, and he continued using it. 6 months later, she told him, I need to take you to the health shop. I need this lady to see, what happened to you. And this man, I could not believe, I can still remember, I had a pink, bright T-shirt on, and he was just standing there smiling, thanking us. And he started to lead a normal life, interacting with his grandchildren, and he never looked back. It's just, I did not save the contact details, because that would have been coming straight from that. But that is my journey with oxygen products, and I've never looked, wherever somebody comes in with a chronic condition. I know there was another case where this man had stage 4 lung cancer, and he was told that there is not much that they can do for him anymore. And it is like so many years later, this man is, I think it's about 6 years later, he's still on oxygen products and he's still going strong. And that is my experience. Then also, I've got one from myself as well. Because I had a kidney dysfunction at a very young age, since the age of 3 years old, and the age of 15 years old, my kidneys was functioning normal up till now, and people cannot believe that I'm not taking any medication, I'm not under any treatment, nothing like that. A few years ago, it was about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I'm not sure, but around about that time, also it was in the fast, second week of fast, I started to, I was at the health shop still then, and I started to have excruciating lower back pain. And I was alone at the shop, and then one of the pharmacologists gave the shop a visit, and he's asking me, Gaironeesha, you don't seem yourself today. Is there something wrong with you? And I said to him, you know what? You're explaining your new product to me, but I am not even focused, I can't even concentrate on what you're telling me, because I have this excruciating lower back pain. It's just like increasing as the day go on. And he said to me, you know what, just drink a liter of water and you'll be fine. It seems to him that I have kidney dehydration. When he left the health shop, I started to drink the water, but I just didn't drink the water. I think I drank about 5 capsules with a glass of water that very same time. And later in the day, I took another 5 oxygens with a glass of water. And on going home, I could feel the pain subsided, but it was still very bad. And then my husband said, please, are you going to the doctor tomorrow? I said, yes, I'll go to the doctor. And the next morning I got up same time for breakfast, as you get up like 5 o'clock in the morning. And my husband asked me, what are you doing? Are you not, why are you getting up? I said, well, I don't have any pain. And he said, but you said you're going to the doctor, are you going later? I said, why? I don't know. There's nothing wrong with me. The only thing I felt where the excruciating pain was sensitivity, because that is how excruciating the pain was. And up till today, a few years later, it's never returned. So yes, I have my my normal supplement dosage for the day with oxygen products, and I'm very happy with that. And then also talking about my husband, he, I can say, was acute asthmatic. And since I have started, to give him the oxygen products, my daughter is now, I normally take the time that he hasn't seen a doctor or hospital with her age, because she was a baby when, he was hospital in and out, and we used to rush him. And even now with winters, with allergies, with winter being very, very cold, I can say he's leading a normal life with no asthma attacks, no wheezing. The only thing that he is bound to, and I think emotionally asthmatics is bound to that, is his inhaler. But yeah, that makes him happy to have his inhaler around when it's fine with me. So for me, oxygen product has been part of my life, and also I always recommend it to people. I also, you know, how can I say, educate people about oxygen products. And yes, we breathe oxygen. Yes, we live by oxygen, but we're not getting enough in our system to help our body to heal and to stay healthy. Thank you.